Welcome back to the channel, lads and ladies, and welcome to a micro Pathfinder campaign log. So, last Sunday it was just me and Sam, and I thought about a few things that we could do, and I also considered canceling game night, but both of us really wanted to play. So, I decided that you know where we left off last time, dear faithful viewer. And Sam, David, and Jeff, my brother, had just gotten done wiping out a hostile fuel and ammunition depot. So I decided that Sam's character, the goat, had wandered off from the rest of the group for a moment where he would engage in his little adventure. Of course, as always, Sam engages in the adventure of getting his kids to go to sleep and stay to sleep, so help me God. He has 5 boys. Anyway, once we finally got down to actually gaming, Sam did also need to finish leveling up his character. They hit the next level. I can't remember what level exactly that was. 5? 6? Something like that. But he leveled up and picked a new mutation, so it was level 4. See? I do know what I'm doing. And his mutation that he chose was the ability to swallow whole enemies. So he can swallow things that are one size category smaller than himself. And normally he's medium size, but he has the ability to cast enlarge goat. And so he can become large enough to swallow people. Interesting. He won't get a chance to use that ability tonight. In fact, he almost dies. So that was fun. And it's about time that I found the limits of the very powerful characters that I've been fostering in this world as their dungeon master daddy. But I was about to get downright nasty. I looked through the monster catalog for the first time to try and find something a little bit spicy for this little side quest to throw at Sam. And so, Sam's goat basically follows his nose and discovers a hidden doorway, large like barn doors in the side of a dune. Free Mars! Why do I have Star Siege flashbacks? Anyway, he works his way into this hidden bunker, I guess, sort of. You'll find out what it was. I'm trying to find words to describe it that don't give away that it was a secret garage. Oh no! So immediately he is aware that there is a Triceratops fighting with several handlers, I guess. Yep, that's right. I decided that there's dinosaurs in this world. Do any of you guys off the top of your head know the stats of a Triceratops in Pathfinder? I think it's a CR6. So why not just throw it up against one level 4 character? What's the worst that could happen? Sam, seeing the dinosaur, seeing the melee that it's engaged in its panicked state, Triceratops, a herd animal, was alone. And remember that there were a whole lot of very large explosions going off outside. Triceratops was panicking, and I think there were half a dozen guys trying to wrangle this trike. 2 people already lay dead, and thus Sam enters the room. His decision was to attempt to intimidate the Triceratops. Okay. Sam, does your character have any animal empathy? No. Is your character trained in intimidation? No. Well, this will be fun. Roll the dice. Now, Sam's goat does have a glorious charisma score that was of no avail to him in this encounter. He rolled just high enough on his intimidation check to make the Triceratops decide that Sam's character, the flying goat, mind you, was the most dangerous target. It charged through the small group, well, the half a handful, I suppose, of wranglers that were trying to beat it into submission, and performed a charge attack against Gorefiend, Sam's goat. It was a very, very hard hit, wiping out over half of Gorefiend's hit points in that first attack. During his next turn, now aware of the danger, myself starting to look at some numbers a little more closely. Oh, well, this looks like a fight Sam can't win. Yes, my first clue was that he lost over half his hit points in the first attack. And then I checked Gorefiend's armor class. Yeah, the enemy had a pretty good chance to hit him on his next attack as well. What did Sam's character do after that? It's kind of hard to remember. It's been a few days. And I guess it's not all that important. Oh, that's right. He decided to run for his life. Which is a wise decision. Or should I say, fly. Now the Triceratops was going to get an attack of opportunity on him. I should have remembered that Sam could have rolled a fly check to avoid that attack of opportunity. That was dumb of me, but you live and you learn. I already told Sam before that his fly skill is going to count for acrobatics checks as well. And in Pathfinder, you can roll a DC, I think it's a DC 14 acrobatics check to move through threatened squares without provoking attacks of opportunity. So I dropped the ball on that one. Sam should not have taken the next hit that almost took him down out of the fight entirely, which would have been bad news for him, I'm sure. However, he did manage to break from the Triceratops who had charged him, and he looked for a place to go. Now, as I mentioned, this was a hidden garage. There were vehicles of several kinds here, to the tune of, let's say, a Mideastern Jay Leno. Did you guys know that Jay Leno has one of the largest classic car collections in the world? And yet, this place that Sam found himself was more of a militarized garage with APCs, light tanks, larger tanks, and a monstrosity of a tank. Sam decides to go for the monstrous tank. I told him that it was a larger tank because I hadn't decided what tank it was. But then I did decide what tank it was. Something that existed around 1938. Something that would end up in a collector's collection. And something, well, that might be a little bit more interesting later on down the line if Gorefiend decides to adopt a tank. Neubarfahrzeug. Neubarfarzeug, I think. And War Thunder players should be familiar with this tank. It is a reimagined copy of a British tank called the Vickers Mark V, I think. But this tank, a German tank, yes, they copied that British tank, has a main turret with a 75mm low velocity cannon, a 40mm anti-tank cannon sitting right next to it, coaxially, if you will. Busy loaders, I'm sure. A machine gun next to that. In front of the main turret is a small machine gun turret next to the driver's hatch. Behind the main turret is a small machine gun turret that overwatches the engine deck and the rear of the vehicle. And I think it houses a crew of around 11 people. So yes, a battle train. And Sam's goat hops into the tank, gets into one of the turrets, and this is our introduction to the way machine guns are going to work in this world. Oh, first off, Gorefiend threw his satchel of dynamite, causing some damage to the people around the Triceratops. Again, these are hostile soldiers, so no tears shed for them, although they had enough HP to survive the splash damage because Sam didn't roll super high on his damage dice. The Triceratops took some damage, but it's fine. Triceratopses, very tough, very physical, brutish beasts. I was kind of hoping he would find a way to make friends with it. Didn't happen, sorry. Heartbreaker. I guess we'll have to settle for das Neubarfahrzeug. In any event, eventually, as this Triceratops is rampaging, taking down people left and right, Sam hops into the tank, takes control of a turret. I'm thinking Mage Hand. I didn't think too much about how he was actually controlling this turret, being a goat and all. My hooves! In any event, he takes control of the turret and he decides to open up on the guards, firing controlled bursts as he was trained to do. Again, he received military training. I know. This whole thing is weird. I love it. He takes down one of the beast tamers with his first volley, and then on the next round he takes down the last remaining one, the Triceratops, seeing nothing that it recognizes as a threat. Again, what's a big metal box to a dinosaur? Nothing. Trikes have kind of pea brains after all. Seeing no more threats, it continues just trotting its way. Can a Triceratops trot? Why not? Bustling its way out of the underground hangar and is seen no more. Thus end the night's activities. It ended up being about 2.5 hours of gameplay, maybe 3, not a whole lot, a good portion of that dedicated to leveling up and figuring out how to keep Sam from dying in this encounter that was way over a single character's head. But maybe the whole party could fight a T-Rex next week. We'll have to see. Maybe just machine gun armed Turbs on Egoraptors. That's right. Jurassic Park lied to you. The Velociraptor's the size of a cat. Egoraptor is the big scary one. Clever lads. In any event, that does it for this one. Sam now is the proud owner of a Neue Fahrzeug. Basically, an oversized, under-armored heavy tank. Oh, there is one more distinguishing feature about this tank. It has a homunculus engine. So, maybe I'll describe more about what that is next time. I'm sure there will be interesting things to come. Catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.